Welcome back to Talk Show with Joe Rodriguez. I'm Joe Rodriguez. We'll get right to our clickbait report. The clickbait report is where I review this week's most click-worthy or worthless news articles. Did you hear about this? They're trying to bring air taxis to LA, helicopters. And I find it very exciting, you know. There are two companies, Archer and Joby, and they're competing to get the first rideshare helicopter app in the Los Angeles metropolitan area. The average person in LA spends over 100 hours in their car per year sitting in traffic. And so they want to fix that. And they want to make it accessible to many people. It's going to be relatively cheap. They're rushing to get this complete before the 2028 LA Olympic Games. And I hope it happens. The Citizen app is about to be lit. You know, you're going to get notifications on your phone. And the sound is going to be like, and you're going to go, another helicopter problem. You're going to click on it. And it's going to be a video of like two guys fighting in parachutes. You hit me. You didn't let me merge. I needed to merge. You need to. And then they're like punching each other. And they're like swinging in the parachutes because they can't. Where's your proof of insurance, dude? I got a BMW rideshare helicopter. Get your Dodge Neon off the road. Your Dodge hella neon. Punching each other. The rideshare app is going to go to major areas like LAX, USC, Santa Monica. I just wish that there was a helicopter that went to Vons. Okay. The grocery store here in Studio City, Vons. Terrible parking lot. Can never park. I always try to park and give up and go home and order a $45 panini off Grubhub. That gets delivered by like a guy with 4 kids and he's like trying to get into Bitcoin. His wife is like, see, the Bitcoin is not paying the bills. Sandra needs pimple patches. She's going into adolescence. Maybe you need to go deliver the paninis to the lazy. John, the pimples mean adolescence. They're going to be in college soon. Where are we going to get the funds? Is it going to be Bitcoin? Are you going to send them to Bitcoin University? And he's like, oh, okay. Getting a lot of orders from one guy in Studio City. Oh, he's right next to a Vons. Weird, he doesn't go. She's like, he's paying our bills. John, go. Get out the door. Get out of here. In TV business news, did you hear that Chick-fil-A is trying to enter the streaming business? I mean, of course they are. Have you tried Chick-fil-A? Of course they're trying to make movies. Like, come on. Have you tried Chick-fil-A sauce? Like, Jesus. I buy Chick-fil-A sauce in the bottle. You know? Come on. It's over. I'm not going to watch their shows, but I get it. Like, I understand why they're doing this. Chick-fil-A is trying to get into the unscripted TV business specifically. They want to make family-centric, family-friendly content. I have a pitch, and it's not necessarily family-friendly, but maybe they could make a show called What Happens When a Gay Man Says That He Eats Chick-fil-A at a Party? And all the gays are like, how could you, Michael? How could you do that? Do you know, have you read anything about Chick-fil-A? And he's like, I haven't. You should not be eating Chick-fil-A. Oh my God. How are you doing this? Chick-fil-A? Oh my God. You might as well shoot me with a bullet. How could you do this? Chick-fil-A is so bad. Did you know what the owner did? And he's like, I didn't know. What'd he do? And they're like, we're not even sure, but it's bad. We heard it's bad. Michael, you owe us Coke. How could you do this? And they take a bite of Bojangles. I eat Bojangles. And he's like, well, what's good with Bojangles? I don't know, but I can't eat Chick-fil-A. Can I borrow one of your Chick-fil-A pickles to put on my Bojangles? That'll be the show. Maybe like a movie idea. I could give him a movie idea, and here I am handing out free IP, but you could do a movie about what happens when a pickle falls out of your sandwich and then it rolls, it rolls into lint. And he's like, I'm now not only a pickle, I have lint on me. He's like, I never identified as a pickle. I was a cucumber, a normal fruit that humans Frankenstein somehow. And then he has to like learn how to stand up for himself, like, because he runs into like a French fry and, an old piece of broccoli under the oven in someone's house. And they're like, hey, come in. They're like, it's tough down here. There's a gang. It's like other foods are fighting them. Basically, I'm writing Sausage Party. I don't know. Maybe he has to learn like how to stand up for himself. He keeps getting stepped on. He's like, oh, I'm all waggly and I'm getting crushed by shoes. And the French fry is like, hey, pickle, you got to learn how to stand up for yourself. Do you think that I got to where I am in the gangs? I have tattoos and shit. Do you think that I just was always this way? No, bro. I learned how to stand up for myself. And the pickle's like, oh yeah, that's. And he brushes off the lint. He's like, I am not a pickle. I am a cucumber in brine. And they all go, whoa, whoa. All right, I'll copyright that portion. Chick-fil-A, hit me up. This is kind of old news, but did you hear that Tesla is trying to knock down a old Shakey's Pizza on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Orange Drive in West Hollywood, California? Did you hear about this? Did you have anything else to do? Well, now we're talking about this. This Shakey's Pizza was established in 1964. That's old, bro. There should be nothing around since 1960. Knock it down. It's throw in the towel, bro. Like, your pepperoni has asbestos. The manager's like, we have never found a rat at this location since 1980. And they're like, the rats are like, yeah, we won't go in there. We have Wikipedia like everyone else. We know about all the iron and all the asbestos in there. Listen, we have bodily standards. Come on. We hope Tesla wins. We hope that the LA City Planning Commission gives Tesla the go-ahead to build this, because we would happily check out the Tesla supercharging station on the corner of Santa Monica and Orange Drive. We will happily check out a movie. I just hope that it's one of the classics. I really want to see Casablanca. Is Casablanca involved? I will happily infest and pollute a Tesla charging station if it has Casablanca. If it doesn't, I got Criterion Collection. I'm not gonna go in. Tesla has a high bar. So people are very outraged because of this, or some people who care about Route 66. This Shakey's Pizza is officially part of the Route 66. And I had to look it up because I thought Route 66 was like a bumper sticker that you slap on your Toyota Camry because you visited Arizona or whatever the fuck. It is an actual thing. This Route 66 is an organization, and there are several nonprofits that help it, et cetera, et cetera. It's basically a highway that was established right after World War II, and there were a ton of motels that militia guys went to. And really, are we caring about this? Like, you know what kind of cars they drove back then? They drove those cars with no roof. The no roof whimsical mobiles, like those old ass cars, the Ford Model Ts, the thin Lizzies or tin Lizzies, whatever they call it, the Ford Model T. That's the kind of car they drove. It's kind of like what you think of when you think of a clown car. You know those clown cars? Here comes Goofy the Clown. Those kind of cars. Old cars were around right after World War II. Are we really? Nah. This seems like a Guy Fieri problem. Like, he's like, oh, like the Shakey's. I went there right after I got my first bypass surgery. You can't take that out. Oh, I love Shakey's Pizza. Be sure to smash the 5-star rating button on your Apple Podcasts app or Spotify. We need
the reviews.
I'm excited for this week's guest. His name is Alexis Nava. He is my partner of 9 months, and he is my partner, not my boyfriend. We are partners. We have a law firm, and we started a class action lawsuit against El Pollo Loco because they keep putting shredded chicken on our nachos. We asked for cubed breast meat. We care about the shape of the chicken on our nachos. I recently rented him a Tesla for his birthday. And I'll be honest, driving that thing, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to drive that. It's kind of like the fruit fly of the road. You're just like not there, and then you're there, and you're going, beep, beep, where's your battery? You're just kind of going, you know? Move out of the way, you gas guzzler. Beep. You're going. I love that car. Whoosh.
Well,
where is your Tesla, bro?
It's still being processed.
No, really. Like, is it at the factory?
It's at some store. Oh, it's in Burbank. Like the store in Burbank.
So they relocate them to different stores, or do you have to go to Burbank?
No, you go to the one you chose.
So you chose Burbank.
When you order, well, I guess I unintentionally did it. I didn't even realize I had pushed Burbank. But like when you order it, when you give that $250, you get to choose the location. Because, you know, besides all the other stuff you choose.
I thought you put 500 down. Why are you saying 250?
No, it's 250. The last time it was 500 because of the charger.
Okay, so the average person, you need to talk like people don't know, okay? The average person is spending $500.
Yes, if they don't have a charger at home already. If they're a new EV, if the person is a new EV buyer or they're new to the EV world or industry, they need to buy the charger. Unfortunately, with Teslas, chargers don't come included with the vehicle.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it. So the one you could take with you, like the portable one that you don't need to hardwire, is $250. So $250 plus $250 that you need to deposit is $500.
So the $250 is to hold the car?
Yes.
In
addition to the charger. Yeah.
So the charger is like one of those ones that you can just plug into a conventional outlet?
Yes. There's level 3 that's hardwired to your home. And for Teslas, it only applies for Teslas. You have superchargers. Tesla has a supercharging network. That is more convenient. It's convenient because it charges the vehicle fast, you know? Charges it in about 30 minutes from 0 to 100 or 0 to 80.
Jesus.
So
what made you get a Tesla versus a Rivian?
Rivian is more expensive, but Tesla has a very good reputation when it comes to safety. And
really?
It's a 5-star vehicle in safety.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. And it also has other features that have been shown that save people from crashes. And
like automatic braking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, even actually like if it detects that somebody else is being rear-ended and they're going to possibly rear-end you, it moves the vehicle without your consent. Like
forward?
Yeah, so it'd move it forward or it like move it somewhere else.
So you can't even turn that feature off?
You can. Like every vehicle, you know, you could turn certain things off and certain things on.
Yeah.
It just comes with more convenient features that's better and safer.
Yeah.
And, you know, people don't like Teslas because they're very minimalistic in the inside. There's less buttons. It's being controlled by, just think of an iPad on wheels.
It is an iPad.
It dies
with
and
wheels.
You can't move it.
Huh?
If it dies, you can't move it.
Yeah. That's why it's like it's kind of similar to Apple because they have complete control over the product and the accessories. And if it's done, it's done.
Well, there's a lot of third-party accessories out there that you can add. There's other buttons you can Bluetooth in.
Oh, Bluetooth in.
I'm
virtual buttons.
I'm not sure how it works because obviously I don't have one right now. And I'm not planning to buy buttons.
Yeah.
But I've seen it on YouTube where like people buy accessories that they're like buttons you can add.
What would be a button? Like an example of
like the AC button? Or like the volume button?
On the screen?
Like on the bottom of the screen? Like
I'm failing to visualize.
You know
this.
how there's like an iPad, right?
Yes.
So they attach something at the back of the iPad or the pad, and you're having a button now because it attaches from the back.
Oh, so they're actually putting a physical fake button in there?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because they have difficulties doing like raising the AC, the speaker, or the sound.
Yeah.
So many people don't use the voice thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, hey, raise the volume to this amount or turn up the AC.
When we rented I rented a Tesla for you, and you didn't seem very excited. But we'll just move on.
Wow, I did.
Were you excited that I rented you a Tesla for your birthday?
Yes, I was excited.
You just don't show your emotions.
Oh my God. Do you not recall?
It wasn't the Model Y Jasper or whatever. Juniper.
For the record, I was excited. And we spent a whole day with it. Let's.
I wish it had a signal knob.
And let's recall about the last hour with it.
Oh yeah, we couldn't find a charging station.
And we had 30 minutes to turn it in.
And we had I think it was going to take 20 minutes to get to the charging station. And we sat at the charging station.
It was going to take 15 minutes to get to the charging station. It was going to take approximately 10 minutes to charge the car. And it was going to take 10 minutes to get to 20 minutes to get to the place. To drop it off. Remember? And then we only charged it to like 81 or 82.
No, we had to return the car to the... Okay, so we rented through Turo, the app Turo. You had to return the car at 91%. So we charged it to 93%. And that was a cool part of the Tesla because it showed you how much of the percent it was going to take to get to the drop-off point.
Right.
So we only charged it to 93%. It was going to take 2% to get it back to the charging station. But Lord have mercy, it was the slowest 5 minutes of my life.
Well, I mean... He didn't go with me, but we charged it near here. And when we had it in the afternoon, it was at 40% or 50%. And I went to go charge it at a supercharger. And the Tesla was telling me that it was going to take 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And then I was waiting and I timed it because I had called somebody. I think it was my mom. I called my mom. And then at the end of the day,
you called your mom?
Well, yeah, I called her to tell her, right? And she's like, you bought the car? And I was like, no. But
so you played a prank on your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I timed it and it was less than 30 minutes. It took less than 30 minutes to charge from assuming approximately 50 to 100 because that day I charged.
And that was a supercharger.
That was a supercharger.
Let's see. Okay, so now they have trickle charge. That's what I don't like.
So trickle charge is just like your at-home outlet, like your regular one that you plug your AC in or your charger for your computer, your phone, your microwave, or coffee pot or whatever.
Yeah, that's
trickle charge, especially for people that live in colder weather states where it snows. It sometimes might not even charge the vehicle at all because
Are you kidding me?
So the way the vehicle works, the way the car works is that the car is off to your view, but internal mechanics still work. So when the weather is hot, the car tells itself, no, you need to cool. You need to cool the battery. Right. And it also has another feature where you can cool you can set an internal temperature for the AC to turn on. So let's say it's 100 degrees outside and the inside cabin goes over 100 degrees Fahrenheit internally. The car will turn on its HVAC system and it stays cool.
Inside of the cabin of the car?
Yes. And additionally to that,
what does this have to do with it not charging?
Wait, so
I am waiting, but I'm getting antsy.
In the winter, when it's very, very cold, the cold doesn't go well with the batteries. Any battery in general will degrade faster if it's cold. So it affects everything, including phones. You just don't realize it because you're always charging it at a normal basis. So what it does is that the Tesla tells itself, heat up the battery, keep it at this temperature. So if you have it plugged into a trickle charge, it's just going to use the energy of the trickle charger to keep it at that certain temperature.
So it's protecting itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of charging it, it's just going to,
Jesus. So basically don't buy this car in Montana or Wisconsin or New York.
I mean, you can. There's people that have had it and they just install a level 3 in their home.
Now, okay, so that's directly into the power grid of the house. Okay.
They're like, when you look into buying an EV in general for any brand, you have to consider the fact that batteries degrade, whether it's lithium or LFP. LFP
batteries. What's LFP?
It's the newer type of batteries that you can charge up to 100% many, many times. Yeah. And nothing will happen to them. I mean, they do degrade, but every car degrades at a certain extent.
Right. So remember when we went to 24-hour fitness and we sat in the hot tub? This guy was talking about EVs and he was saying that it's an unproven technology because we're in the early stages of the batteries. And he kept saying that lithium batteries suck.
So actually, you guys can even research this, but Tesla has been the first electric automaker to even make profit out of its electric vehicle or vehicles. Anybody else, any other car maker, any other gas-powered vehicle maker does not profit from their electric vehicles at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Chevy, so this is sounding really bad.
So Chevy is one of the car makers that does not make profit from their Bolts. It's the
Chevy Bolt.
Yeah. So
they don't make Chevy Volt or no? So that was a car too. Chevy Volt.
There's one with the V and then there's one with the B, like a Bolt and a Volt.
Chevy Volt was the ugliest car that ever existed.
But they don't make money from their electric cars. They actually get money from their gas-powered cells to provide for their electric technology. And for those of you that don't know, here in California, there's a law that says that if you want to sell vehicles here, you need to have at least one electric vehicle in the fleet. So that includes major cars as well. Like different other brands needed to have, electric cars in their fleet in order to keep selling here in California.
Well, that's a pretty low bar. Just one car.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people failed. One of them was Fiat.
I feel like you're a spokesperson for the EPA or something.
Well, no, but Fiat took out a car and it was way overvalued, right? It was, I believe, the MSRP was 40 grand with the EPA mileage being 100 miles.
EPA mileage.
It's estimated.
Environmental Protection Agency?
No, it's estimated something agency. And it's just like an estimated range of how much the car will go. Yeah. It's like an agency that matches that. Okay. And it was just 100 per 100, it was 100 miles per 100% charge. And it was.
And that's low.
That's very low on the MRSP. Wait, MSRP.
It's something.
Was about 40 grand for a Fiat, like a 2-door Fiat. And many people that were buying it, the car was losing its value. So let's say it was 2018, right? And you bought the car, right? It lost more than 50% of its value in less than half a year.
Okay, but I don't mean to counter this, but that's all EVs.
No, but
they especially the Mercedes line of luxury EVs, they are losing close to 50%. In London, it's even worse. I don't know why in London they have terrible car numbers, but the number, it's 50% or higher of the EVs. In 5 months or 6 months, 50% chopped off.
Remember,
you're losing your pounds.
Remember, Tesla is the most innovative and smartest way to like kind of go at this point, because anybody else, like any other car maker, is losing its value twice as fast, and it's because the way it's built. So
you also,
I don't know if you recall, but like when we rented the Tesla, we were just using one pedal driving. Remember?
One pedal driving. Yes.
We weren't using the brake. It was just like you go with the gas and you just let go if you want to stop.
Yeah.
Other car makers haven't figured that out yet.
Well, it's called degenerative. What is it called?
Regenerative braking.
Regenerative brake. I'm so sorry. You look at me like exhausted, like regenerative braking.
My eyes are dry.
Okay, well, the fans are on here and they can't hear because of the filters on this audio. Okay, so yeah. Also, right out the gate, Tesla's been around longer. They have the infrastructure.
Well, they started back, I believe it was 2007.
Oh, really?
I'm not quite sure, but they started, I want to say 2007, and their first vehicle was the Roadster. And
what's that?
The Roadster it's a race car. It's a 2-door race car. And it had pretty good range for its kind, but it was very expensive. It was very expensive. And the reason why it was expensive was because it was the first vehicle to actually like be 100% battery.
The first car ever?
Well, not ever, but like in its kind, first race car to be battery.
So it was like part of NASCAR? Like
no. It was like I mean, I don't think they make electric
I don't know.
race cars, but like
I don't think
NASCAR electric race cars, I don't think they do.
You're asking the wrong person.
But if they
yes.
If they do, please leave in the comments,
For our 2 listeners.
But it was one of its first vehicles, very pricey, and a lot of people have it. Well, not a lot of people, but a few people have it.
Yeah.
And the resale value of the car, if you find it, is very, very high.
Well, because it's probably got some sort of like vintage factor to it, right?
Of course, it's one of the first vehicles of its fleet. And it was before any of the S or the E or not the E, the 3, the X or the Y. It's one of the first vehicles ever built by Tesla. And even after all the models are out, they want to go ahead and redo the Roadster. And they have it on display on like the car shows, like the museums or whatever that they do every year for cars. But Tesla hasn't released a date when it's going to be out. But based on what they have released, which is like just the exterior of it, it looks really nice.
Is it like a race car? Like it's got like fins on it and stuff?
Yeah. It's a two-door. And
suicide doors?
No, just like a regular 2-door.
Wait, what? Okay, so the Model Y, is that called suicide doors?
No, you mean the Model X? The Falcon doors?
What? Oh, Falcon doors. I knew it was something else.
The ones that raise like a bird.
And they can sense things and they go, Rah.
That's what's called a Falcon.
They're smarter than my arms. Like, I wish I had that. Like, my arms had their own mind. Do they have cameras on those?
I'm not sure. I heard they have sensors.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
I see. So you kept saying fleet of cars. Like, what the fuck is a fleet?
a fleet. Like
a fleet of cars. I think of like a militia. Like this is the fleet of cars, and they're all like armed or so. I don't know. Like they're going to war.
Well, a fleet is just different things. Like different. No.
Like a new gen.
Yeah.
Like Apple iPhone 11, iPhone 12.
Well, the iPhone,
new fleet
the
of
iPhone is a
iPhones.
fleet, right?
Eh?
The iPhone's a fleet. There's
No, they're not. I've never heard that.
oh Lord.
Okay. You know, my brother had the Model S.
Yeah, he did tell me about that.
I remember he was ordering it online. He was all amped up about it. He spent a lot of money. I guess I can say it was $190,000. And he ended up suing Tesla because the car had so many problems that it was declared a lemon. You know what a lemon is?
You mean a lemon law?
Yeah. The car was full of issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's been all over my TikTok, you know, it's been all over
Oh God,
my
here we go.
Instagram reels, you know, where it's like, if your Chevy, whatever, has this issue, it might be part of the lemon law.
A class action lawsuit. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's happened. I know that for the vehicles from 2016 to 2020 something, I think it was 2023, they came defective for some other reason. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but if your car is broken, because if it's been broken multiple times for the same issue, it's lemon law.
You can sue, yeah. Are you concerned buying it at this stage?
Buying what?
A Tesla.
At what stage?
Do you don't think that it's early? It's kind of like streaming. Netflix was around.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Netflix was the first big one that went from physical DVDs to
online streaming.
Right. And then I feel like the whole entertainment industry saw it becoming successful, but they let it go through that beta phase. And then they were like, okay, we're putting all our chips into that.
Well, if you think about it, Tesla has already been through that beta phase many, many times. And when it first came out with this not only like the Roadster, but when it came out with the Model S, which is the one your brother got, it noticed its flaws and it corrected its flaws, right?
Don't act like it's like an intelligent being. It noticed its flaws.
Well, a lot of people sued from the lemon law.
Right.
So
Tesla, the corporation, noticed its flaws.
Right.
Okay.
And so once the newer generation, after that one came out, they corrected the issues. They mastered what it was, like what the problem was. And yes, there might have been more issues after that, or there might have been less issues after that. But they learn, like the company learns from the machinery and it fixes it, you know?
Right.
And so that's why it's always compared to like a phone, because once they see an issue, they send a update, and the update corrects the issue, unless it's a mechanical issue, right? Where like it can cause danger to your life, then you have to take it in.
It's funny that you bring up phones, because it's like I was thinking of corded phones. Corded phones were the first phones, right? And you needed a house to have that, or an office, but you basically needed a stable location, a house. Same with the Tesla. It's for the people with the houses.
Well, I mean,
I'm so happy for you.
Well, thanks.
That you have a golden retriever, 2.5 kids, a white picket fence, and a Tesla. But it is not reasonable. I feel like I should throw a statistic out, but I don't have it. I will dare to say that 90% of the people in California are not living in houses. They're just not. There's no middle class in California.
The charging network for Teslas has expanded, especially here in California, where literally you can go anywhere to charge your car. And you don't necessarily need a charger at home anymore. You can live off of, well, not live, but like you'll be fine without a charger at home. Like workplaces have installed chargers at their parking garages, either for free or a reduced cost.
I work at a TV network. They have electric car charging, but I'm pretty sure it's trickle charge.
Well, usually at those places, they usually have level 2 chargers where it charges.
Level 2 is once again
It's
the one that goes into the
it charges a little
infrastructure
faster.
of the building.
Yeah, it charges a little faster.
Okay.
Sometimes they have level 3 that look like level 2. I don't know how that happens, but it just,
And that's a supercharger.
no, supercharger is just faster.
Wait, what's level 3 now? Ugh.
Level 3, I'm gonna be honest. I've never understood the difference between level 2 and level 3 because for Teslas specifically, level 2 can sometimes be similar to level 3. It all depends on the voltage that the building can sustain. Now, if you work in an industrial place, obviously it can sustain a level 3 voltage.
Yeah.
Like if the level 2 can sustain a level 3 voltage, then it's considered level 3.
So did you see that they're releasing a Dodge Charger, an electric Dodge Charger?
Yeah, I actually heard about this a couple years ago. The price that they're putting on it is a little too pricey the estimated amount that they're putting on it. I think it's over 60 grand. And
that's a lot to you?
Well, for a car that it's not going to use, if you put it this way, it's not going to use any special network to charge. It's going to use regular old infrastructure, right? It's going to use the regular, what the other vehicles use that are non-Teslas use, the regular charge port. And well, right now we don't know what the charge intake is going to be, like the voltage, because you also have to take that into notice. You have to see how much the car can take in, right?
You know so much about voltage, and it's like, does the average...
you have to learn,
Okay, but do you think that the average electric car, that's a mental cost of getting one of these cars? You have to learn amperage and all this shit?
Well, yes, because if you look at the Toyota BZ4X, it takes in a... It's a very... Wait. Oh, BZ4. I'm pretty sure they have that in Ethiopia. Yeah, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, okay. They do. So it's a very nice truck. It's a very nice electric car. I've seen it.
It's a truck.
It's a truck. It's considered a truck. But the downfall of it is that it doesn't charge as fast. So literally, you can not take it to a DC fast charger. And if you do, it's going to take its time because it cannot go over 200 volts. Kilowatts. Yeah. And it's going to take longer. So the same thing applies for the Dodge, right?
The Charger, yeah.
The Charger. You don't know what the intake voltage is going to be. And assuming that it's going to be, they do have a really nice history, I guess, like in car making, but
Toyota?
No, not Toyota.
What are we talking about?
The Charger.
Chevy?
The Chargers. The Dodge Chargers.
Oh,
Lord.
I thought you meant Charger.
No.
Oh.
They do have a, good. They have a good reputation.
I don't think they have a good reputation at all.
No, but they have a good reputation.
I fucking hate these Dodge Chargers so much.
Well, a lot of people don't like them because of the noise.
Yeah.
But they have
that exactly is why.
A good reputation.
You know how many children have been woken up in the middle of the night because of these fucking Dodge Chargers?
Okay, but well, those are modified. Let's start with that.
Okay, well,
those that are not modified don't sound that loud.
It's bullshit.
But
you're literally taking years off of people's lives. Well, that's what I would dare to say. Those children are getting canker sores in their mouth. I'm not and they go, why does my child have canker sores in its mouth? Because it can't sleep. Because it was interrupted by a fucking steel drum in the middle of the night.
Okay, but I don't own one, okay? I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, for the people out there that are considering getting this car, go to hell. Go to hell. How would you even think? You know what's interesting? The electric Dodge Charger. It it's sound. Also, they have an artificial sound. I think we should say that.
Every electric car has an artificial sound.
Right. Okay. But the Hellcat, the Charger, the one that we're talking about, it's a Hellcat, I think. They're going to have a fratzonic sound.
Well,
fratzonic. They're calling it fratzonic.
Porsche has a multiple choice of sounds in their electric vehicle.
The Porsche Panorama?
I think it's
Carrera or something.
It rhymes with crayon. I'm not sure.
Crayon?
I think it's
crayon.
It rhymes with crayon.
I don't know. I can't afford it.
I call it crayon, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
But literally, it gives you an option of fake, zoomy sounds.
Zoom.
And it gives you like just its standard sound of, each car. There's actually a YouTube video about this, and I watched it like 2 weeks ago. But it explains why they need sounds and how, what modes they need the sounds of. And something I learned from that video was that the sound won't play if the car goes up more than 25 miles an hour, because now it's producing like noise, right?
It does produce.
So if
organic sound, like non-artificial sound.
If it goes faster than 25 miles an hour, it produces regular noise, like or natural organic sound. But if it's going less than 25 miles an hour, people can't hear it.
And that's why it goes.
It has to, especially when you're reversing. It needs to make a louder sound for for people that are visually impaired, or for people that, for anybody in general.
Dumb like me, yeah.
Well, not dumb, but like people that have trouble, that need other assistance. Is for people to know that there's a car coming, because gas cars do make sound on their own, obviously, because there's an engine running, but electric vehicles don't make sound at all. Like, hence your iPhone and computer, they don't make sound, right?
Well, my computer does when it goes.
Well, when it's cooling.
Sometimes my iMac will just, when I had an iMac, it would just one day out of the blue decide it was going to explode, make you think it was going to explode. And all this like dust would come out of it. And then I heard that it's cleaning mode. But I'm getting confused, Alexis. You just said that it doesn't make sound if it goes over 25 miles an hour because it starts to actually make noise.
So it's all about speed and like aerodynamics. So if you throw something, right, it's going to start making its own sound. If you throw a Frisbee, it's the most similar thing you can do.
I've never thrown a Frisbee and it went. Phew, 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 phew.
No, if you throw a Frisbee, it makes like its own sound.
Oh, really?
Because it spins.
Okay.
Or like if you throw something, it's going to make its own organic sound. So if it goes more than a certain amount of speed, it's going to start to make its own sound.
I understand.
So it's going to like sound as in like it's breaking the wind. So it's going to, or it's creating wind. So people are going to hear it.
Yeah. I know about that.
If it goes less than 25 miles an hour, people can't hear it because you're not breaking anything. You're not going faster than air. You're just going slow.
Right. But the concept, and this is only because I went to the Tesla dealership in the mall. There's a motor.
Right.
Right. Okay. So the average gas-powered car has explosions. And for people that don't know this, it's insane. Explosions in the engine. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Things are firing. Fuel, oils. I mean, I guess the Tesla has oils. But I look at the motor in the Tesla dealership and I go, does that thing make sound?
No, it doesn't.
It's a closed capsule. So the car is not producing
an audible
sound.
No.
But you're saying that when it goes over 25 miles an hour.
So here, tell you what. I don't mean to cut you off. But
no, please do, because I'm lost.
So if you look at a fan, right? Like
I'm looking at one.
A traditional fan.
Yeah.
Like the ones that you spin. If they're standstill, they make no noise, right?
If they're standstill.
Yeah, like if they're off. The engine or the motor is built in a fan is similar to an electric vehicle because it has coils. So sometimes you'll see like little copper coils like in between, intertwined into like things. That's what makes up the motor. So when you turn on the fan, it starts to make wind noise, right?
Right.
Like the one we currently have in the room.
Yeah. It's
So-
like a turbine in here for the people that don't know.
So that after producing that amount of sound, it's gonna stop making the artificial sound because you can hear it. If you're visually impaired and you walk by it, you're gonna hear that there's something there.
But what are you hearing?
The turbine, the
motor?
air, no, not the motor, the air. Remember, you're
You're hearing airflow.
yes, you're hearing airflow. You're hearing obviously you're going at super high speeds at that point, so you're gonna hear a car.
I've never thought about this.
You've
I
never
have
been
to-
on the street and heard cars like just going.
I live near a highway, bro.
Okay,
I don't know if you
that's
have
what you
ever
hear.
been here before.
That's what you hear. That's why they turn off the audio.
Well, no,
at that
I mean
point.
I hear man, and I hear. You know, sometimes people their brakes are stuck
Mhm.
or their tires crooked, and you're.
You mean the squeaking?
Yeah. So basically, these cars need to produce sound when they're going slow.
Yeah, they need to produce artificial sound, and these car makers are starting to get creative. For the BMW, it's actually an instrument, like an acoustic instrument, when they reverse or like when they're sent, like
What
when
do
they're
you
going
mean? Like
slow.
it has a violin in there?
No, like they use a certain.
Oboe?
I forgot what the instrument is called, but like it's an instrument that they use.
But it's a digital recording.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like an oboe is in the car.
No. It's like a
Okay.
recording. And I drive a Toyota Corolla hybrid, and that's just a regular standard. It sounds like air coming out, but it's a fake sound,
Yeah.
you know? And then when the engine turns off, the audio turns off. So
I see. I don't know. I mean, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. Ethiopia.
okay.
So Ethiopia has outlawed. Now, I just read this today. They have outlawed
Mhm.
the import of gas cars.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Thoughts, feelings?
I mean, that's something that's coming to California, and it's already set. So by 2030, there shouldn't be any new sales of gas powered vehicles.
Is that so?
Yes,
In California.
in California only, and in 2050, there shouldn't be any gas powered vehicle, and this includes buses in the roads. So
Wait, by 2050, you can't buy a gas-powered car on Craigslist?
no, you can. There shouldn't be any gas powered cars at all.
Really?
Yes. So they're trying to extend that due to
The infrastructure.
not only the infrastructure but also poverty levels keep increasing. Statistically speaking, it's impossible for people down from middle class or even middle class to change over by 2050 because gas powered cars are cheaper, way cheaper than electric vehicles overall.
I mean, yeah, like when I moved to California, my dad that was the only thing that my dad ever gave me, like I needed money for. He bought me a car for $4,000. I bought a Hyundai XG 350. I liked it because it looked like a Maybach. But like, yeah, like what are the people that are making $15,000 a year gonna buy? There's no secondhand, even secondhand Teslas are like 20 grand.
They keep their value because it's regenerative braking and you don't use the brake pads. So you don't use the brake pads, you don't use the brakes.
What do you, oh, hold on a minute. You don't use brake pads?
No, you don't use the brake pads because you remember you do one pedal driving. So
But they have brakes.
the best thing to compare it to is like a kid ride, like the kid toy cars, and it runs on electricity.
Bumper cars.
I think that's what they're called.
No, they are.
But if the kid pushes on it, it goes, right?
Uh-huh.
But if the kid stops pushing on it, it stops because power isn't being introduced into the wheels anymore, right?
So that's what the Tesla's doing?
It's something similar to that. But
Okay, but there still is a brake pedal.
there's a brake pedal for emergencies, and you should use it.
But hold on a minute. I know some things about cars. And I just went into this because I thought my car needed brakes. A brake is a pad being applied to
to metal.
the rotor. The pad goes and it slows it down, and it slows the rotation of the wheel.
Yes.
Now, what happens over time is the pad degrades, and if you don't catch it in time, it affects the rotor. So then you need new rotors, which is insanely expensive.
Well, eventually you'll need rotors anyway because it's iron against whatever the padding
Bill
is.
Nye, the science guy.
But
the point is that you will need to get brakes in Tesla theoretically at some time in the car's life.
no, if you use it, if you know how to use the regen braking accurately to like its extent, you wouldn't have to replace anything, not even the rotors or the brake pads, because you're not braking. The car is just not giving energy to the wheels or to the motor. If you're not providing electricity to something, it's just going to stop or turn off.
Is it true that the motor spins backwards?
That's something I heard, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because part of me goes, the weight of the car is slowing it down.
That too.
But if you throw a bowling ball and it's rolling really fast, it's fighting gravity.
But if you add weight
it's
to
almost
it,
like the heavier the vehicle, the more that it's going to go, the further it's going to go.
Well, it depends.
If you compare a bowling ball and a tennis ball, and I roll them both with the same terrible tricep that I have, and I go on a flat surface, on a flat, smooth surface.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the bowling ball is going to go further.
Well, the faster the car drives, the more length it needs to stop. So if you're driving 70 on the highway and you clearly need to stop, that's when you apply the brakes.
Okay, but then if you're saying that the brakes, theoretically, in a Tesla, the regenerative braking is not braking in the sense of what we know about brakes. The wheel, the brake pad, and the rotor are not involved. We are talking about something else because
no. So look,
otherwise it would be hitting the brake every time. If I take my foot off the gas pedal, velocity keeps the car going. I mean, we drove the Tesla together.
But remember,
yes, granted, we would go 90 miles an hour. I will admit to doing that.
We were doing that safely.
Oh, right. We have our attorneys they're ready if you want to talk to them. The point is, the car's going really fast. You take your foot off, it doesn't just immediately stop.
Well,
okay?
no.
If you're going 5 miles an hour and you take your foot off the gas,
it slowly stops.
No, it's fast. It stops harder and faster.
Yes.
So that's called velocity, right? Like the car is going XYZ speed, 100 miles an hour. If you then decide to brake, you can press the brake, and we have what's known as regular braking.
Yes. But with regen braking, you can go, let's say, 65 miles an hour, right? And let's say you're just slowing down, like you're not going to stop, or you are going to stop, but you have distance between you and traffic stopped. If you slowly let go, it will eventually come to a complete stop without using brakes. Now, there is sometimes where regenerative braking isn't available because the car is at 100%. So you can have the car use its brakes on its own when regenerative braking is not available.
You have lost me in this word salad.
So remember when you push on the pedal, it goes, right? And then when you release the pedal, it slows down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that isn't available because the car is 100% charged. Regenerative braking just means that it uses the kinetic energy that it's using, making when you release the pedal back. It's making that energy, it's being put back into the battery. So you're charging back the battery.
Okay, but this is more of a problem. This is more of a reason that you would lean on brakes. So
no, wait, like you're not. Nobody's telling you don't use the brakes.
No, I mean I know I can do whatever I want. I'm getting a Charlie horse.
Your what?
I get Charlie horses where like my foot gets all cramped. But I feel like you're gonna need to replace the brakes.
So I mean, obviously you have to replace the brakes.
Oh, there we go. You do need to replace the brakes.
The more you use the brakes, you're gonna have to replace them. Like Tesla's not gonna tell you don't use your brakes, because obviously that's other legalities. But the way the car works is that really you can use the car without using the brakes. The brakes are just there for emergency purposes when you have to stop fast. And, when traffic just comes into a complete stop without you realizing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't stop, let's say you do use the brakes and you still don't think you're going to make it, the car will make sure you make it. The car will activate its ABS system and it'll make sure you brake before you hit the person. It doesn't matter if it has to use braking mechanisms on its own, but it stops the vehicle.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Because what if your foot is all the way down on the brake already?
So then,
magic.
At that point, what were you doing wrong?
Oh my god!
How fast were you going?
Let's just say we were going 200 miles an hour, which I'm not even sure a Tesla can go.
It could only go up to 125 miles an hour.
Oh god! I knew you had the answer for that.
Yeah.
You know that in Ethiopia, they are fully on hydropower. I went down this whole rabbit hole this morning. Sometimes when I have the coffee, boom, boom, I just go right down a rabbit hole. And it gets really interesting. I did not know what hydropower was. I was like, what is that? It's a dam.
Yes.
They have something called the Renaissance Dam. And they employed all their impoverished people to build this dam. And they are 100% on hydropower. 96% of the cars are electric cars. And I didn't even know that Uber is out there. Uber is in fucking Ethiopia. They show up on a camel.
Well, I mean, no.
They gave out scooters.
Oh.
They have something called the Renaissance Dam. Okay? And it's taking water from the Nile River. And it's creating all this electricity. So then I had to know about these dams. And like, why are we not doing them more? And you
just don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah, but there's always a problem with everything. I looked it up. They're saying that these dams still emit so much greenhouse gas because the way that a dam is built, it takes a body of water and it compresses the water. And what happens is that all the water before the dam floods and it kills a ton of vegetation. That vegetation goes down and rots under the water and emits greenhouse gases through the water. And it's some terrible amount, okay? Now...
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, there's always a downfall for everything.
Right, exactly.
Like, at least, okay, yeah, we want to cut off plastic bags, right? And we want to make paper bags because it's more eco-friendly, because it, the earth eats it faster because it's paper, but you're killing trees. Or same thing, plastic straws, you're turning it into paper straws, which come from trees. You're killing more trees.
Well, they also dissolve.
That's the point. Drink. That's the point of it, is so that it dissolves. The earth can eat it faster.
But it shouldn't be dissolving while it's being used. So find the material. I mean, I remember seeing pasta straws. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
There's some straws made out of pasta.
But
so if you drink tomato sauce.
Like, there's always a downfall to everything. Like, yes, you do want to... Many people have said this about anything that's electric. You want to be electric, but the lithium is bad because it gets taken from the earth. And it's an acid, right? So it's bad.
Yeah.
Other states operate their electric infrastructure differently. But I at least know that here, because obviously I live in California. I lived here my whole entire life. LADWP specifically has a program.
Shout out to LADWP. They making us broke. They love us during the summer. They love this house.
They actually have incentives to have solar in your home. Like, even for low income people or individuals or families, they provide like a reduced rate to install solar panels. And Actually, here we have a surplus of solar energy being produced.
In California?
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't run. I don't believe we run off of nuclear plants.
I mean, I have no idea.
I know there is one by San Diego. They look like nipples. They do.
What do you mean?
On the San Diego Road.
Nipples.
They're like little feet, round thingies, and then they have something on top.
Oh, boob.
They're like
That's
boobs.
not a nipple. That's a boob. Well, boobs with nipples.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a nuclear plant. I'm not sure if it's active. I don't know.
Whoosh. That's today's episode. If you'd like to watch video clips of today's conversation, be sure to go to our YouTube, handle Talk Show Joe Evie. You can also watch clips on my Instagram, Joe Rodriguez Comedy 1. Be sure to tell your friends to quickly find us on Spotify by going to joerodriguez.com. We'll see you next week.